fake right-wing propaganda news alert from this supposed right-angle news network, supposed network.
A Fox News alert. Journalist Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an anti-ICE protest at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there, and then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now.
We actually went and sat down and participated in the service. And after the pastor prayed, that is when I stood up and asked him a question in response to his prayer.
Identities of all three arrested earlier today have been made public, including one of the alleged organizers of Sunday's protest, Nikema Armstrong, each now facing felony charges and, if found guilty, could spend years behind bars.
News alert, because moments ago, remember that church incident on Sunday in Minneapolis? The AG Pam Bondi posted this, all right? I'm reading now. Minutes ago, at my direction, HSI and FBI agents executed an arrest in Minnesota. So far, we've arrested Nikema. So far, okay, we'll come back to that. So far, we have arrested Nikema Levy Armstrong, who allegedly played a key role in organizing the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul.
Bill Malusian joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Charlie, good morning to you. Our colleague David Sputt and I getting this breaking news from multiple law enforcement sources. Just the feds minutes ago confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon before they went to a magistrate judge federal agents in Los Angeles just after midnight this morning. Went to a judge above him. He didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to in St. Paul, an appeals court, Minnesota. They also decided not to sign off for an arrest warrant for him. So there was experts who were predicting that perhaps the feds would go to a grand jury. It remains to be seen if that's what happened here, but we can confirm that Don Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles by federal agents. Just after midnight Los Angeles time at a hotel. Now, typically, standard procedure with an arrest like this is the defendant will likely make their first court appearance sometime the same day. So there's a chance we may see Don Lemon make his first court appearance in Los Angeles sometime today. But obviously, this is going to grab all sorts of headlines. 3 other protesters from that church storming, have already been arrested, including who the feds say was the organizer of that protest. The woman in the middle there is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot on the right is an online personality / agitator, if you want to call him that. He's known as the Woke Farmer. Those were the 3 people that the feds had already arrested, but we have confirmed that Don Lemon has now been arrested in Los Angeles in connection with that viral incident. We all saw the video of it that spread and drew widespread condemnation. The feds have been going after these people on FACE Act violations. So this is still breaking news. Once we get more details about the potential charges here, a court appearance, we'll, of course, update our viewers, guys.
Really appreciate it. Of course, if it was a grand jury that did indict him, that's pretty unimpeachable.
Pam Bondi announcing today federal authorities arrested 3 of the anti-ICE agitators involved in Sunday's protest inside a St. Paul church in Minnesota. All 3 now facing felony charges. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us in details surrounding these arrests, Jeff, and the charges that continue to develop tonight. What are you learning about those arrested?
So the identities of all 3 arrested earlier today have been made public, including one of the alleged organizers of Sunday's protest, Nikema Armstrong, each now facing felony charges and, if found guilty, could spend years behind bars.
Living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives. You doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit. Is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No! Jesus would dine with immigrants.
All right, let's start with Don Lemon. Not a good wake-up call for him. It was actually just after midnight when they closed in on him in Los Angeles. You know, we had covered this story extensively. There were a couple of judges who did not sign off on charges. But now he is being charged. And of course, we knew where this was going. His attorney, Abby Lowell, who once represented Hunter Biden and many other big names, is saying this was just journalism, that this is an unprecedented attack on for the First Amendment here. But we also had Pam Bondi, Harmeet Dillon from the DOJ saying, no, this is not allowed. You have a right to worship freely and safely. How far can this journalism, and I'm doing air quotes here, go? Because now even his former employer, CNN, is coming out saying, oh, yes, this is raising serious questions. I don't have any questions. Do you, Jim?
Well, look, it's a factual question. When you talk about group activity and conspiracy type charges or aiding and abetting, the question comes down to whether you are merely present, and you can be there and you can be quietly supportive and not be guilty of any crime, or if you actually participate on some level. And, you know, being a journalist, I know this is sad news for you because you break the law so many weekends, Bianca, but, you know, you're not immune just because you're a journalist. So he can put that hat on, he can pretend it's a big First Amendment issue. And look, if all he did was sit there quietly, then he might have an argument. But it sounds like he actively participated in something that disrupted the civil rights of others, which implicates the FACE Act and implicates the conspiracy to deprive people of their civil right to go to church without intimidation. So, look, everything I've seen suggests that he's no different than the other people that were indicted in this case. And it doesn't matter that a magistrate was an activist, a magistrate married to somebody that works for Keith Ellison, wouldn't issue charges against Lemon. The grand jury gets the final say, as they did.
Yeah. That was the first judge. And then they got a second judge who apparently is dealing with the Todd Lyons Ice thing, so also not inclined to do this. We showed the video of him kissing the woman before they went in, and she said this is an act where we go in and disrupt. She was very clear. There's a lot of tape there. And as you said, Title 18 U.S. Code sections 241, 248. Hey, he's got a great lawyer. Have your day in court, Don. There you go. Lemonade with Abby Lowell. He will have some good lawyering up.
The whole point of it is to disrupt, to make uncomfortable. And that's what they're doing. And that's what I believe when I say everyone has to be willing to sacrifice something. Renee, good.
Armstrong telling CNN after their goal wasn't to interfere, but rather get answers about a pastor at the church who reportedly works for ICE. All three are now facing a primary felony charge of conspiracy against rights. But CBS News reporting a judge Thursday rejected allegations they violated the FACE Act, finding no probable cause, a decision the DOJ immediately announced it plans to appeal.
I think that they're hiding truth and evidence, and this is going to come out. Pam Bondi is not going to let this rest. You watch.